What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today in this video we're going to talk about 9 mega cap stocks in this video. But before we get started, please hit that thumbs up button. That is greatly appreciated and that really helps out with YouTube algorithm. And if you want to support the channel and get my daily trade ideas, my swing trade ideas, 3 days of live trading in my Discord, definitely check out the Patreon. I'll leave a link down below in the description. And if you are new to this channel, consider subscribing. And now let's get right into it, guys. So before we dive into anything today, let's have a look at Smart Money HYG, what they're doing. And once again, if you look at my screen, we got a green candle. They're buying the dip. It's up 0.21%. And on HYG, we got a gap on top, 75.38. So if this thing moves higher, definitely they're buying with high volume on it today. That means one thing, we're going to see a bounce in the market. On Meta, it's down 1.24% and it's kind of in this flag or wedge, whatever you want to call it, and looks like we're going to see a big move on Meta. I just don't know if it's going to happen to the upside, but if this thing actually can break, I would say 316 to 318 right here, we're going to see a big move and possibly up to even 338. Now also Meta coming down to this support once again today. Right here, white line 20 SMA now moved up, sitting close to 310. That's going to be a critical level here on Meta. Soon as that gives up, we're going to see Meta closing this gap down here close to 300. And that would be also a strong support on Meta. And just below that, we do have more support down here around 290. And there is a line with this red line, 50 SMA, which is rising. And also lower Bollinger Band on this daily chart. Microsoft once again down 1.23%, and if you look at my screen, lower Bollinger Band actually moving down now. It's at 320. So on a pullback, you do want to watch this support 320, but to the upside, now we have resistance right here, which is kind of aligned with this downtrend 327.62, and only if that breaks, we're going to see a quick trip up to 337 to 339, and above that, we got a gap on top on Microsoft 345.07. Now to the downside, below 320, we're going to see Microsoft closing this gap at least down here at 316.50. So this thing here, until breaks this downtrend, we're not going to see Microsoft going up to this resistance right here, at least 336 to 337, and then the gap above 345. So it's still on a downtrend. Keep an eye on that, but I think it's also getting the sell-off with low volume today does not mean anything, guys. So there is not a lot of strength behind this sell-off. We could see a bounce anytime on Microsoft, and if that happens, easily can get up to 339, white line 20 SMA, and then the gap above 345. But you want to watch this support, lower Bollinger Band. That could be an opportunity on Microsoft to buy the dip at around 320 to 316.50 on a pullback. And here's a quick look at my X account, and if you're on there, definitely give me a follow and you can have a look at all my plays, especially the ones that I share right here on X. And also my videos are coming out, weekly expected moves, my charts, and some of the plays that I took, they're right here. IWM, I did not play SPY, QQQ, but people who got in when I called it out, it was a really good move. Also right here, guys, one of the biggest play that I took this week. Yesterday was a terrible day in the market, but look at this big move, especially on Chegg. Shorting the heck out of it right here at 13 bucks right at opening. And 10, 11, whatever you got, puts over 100%. So that was massive, almost 200%. And getting out for a nice profit. And then right here, I know it does not look good, but those 100 shares that I got right here left on D-Dog still up on the day, guys. So that was a massive trade. Also, I did take trade on Chevron and also on some of the other products, and I'm not sharing those right here because I do share some of my trades here, not all of it. Just to give you guys a glimpse, what I do as a day trader, as a swing trader, as an investor in the market. And if you are thinking about joining the Patreon, you can go ahead and look at this page and also get all my weekly expected moves. And any questions you have regarding the market, you can go here and ask me anytime you want. And if you're not on my Discord, definitely that is a better way to get in touch with me right here on X. So definitely give me a follow. On Amazon, stock is down 1.60% and nothing but a breather. Amazon taking down here at the support 138. So nothing is broken. Everything is still intact. And we could see Amazon again going back up to 146. Only thing here on Amazon you need to watch, support 138. And just below that, we do have support around 136, blue line 5 SMA. And then down here also 133. 132.61 white line 20 SMA, and then the gap below 129.84. To the upside, as long as Amazon can stay above 138, we're going to see a push all the way up to 146. On Google stock, absolutely flat day, not really going anywhere. And yesterday I took some puts on Google 130s at around 132. And if you look at my screen, down to 130 today. And when I saw Google stock was actually holding blue line 5 SMA as a support, which is sitting just 5 penny short of 130s, I did take profit on Google. And now it's back up again close to 132. So Google getting that breakout right here, guys. And if that happens, look at this upper Bollinger Band expanded, going higher up to 136. We could see that move on Google above this resistance right here, just around 132. Google can run all the way up to 136. Now to the downside, we have strong support down here around 130, and just below that we also have support at 128.63, and then white line 20 SMA around 126 to 127 on Google. On Apple, stock is up 0.53%, so nothing big. Apple is still oversold, and we're getting that bounce from that same level. We talked about it last night, 177 right here, guys. Now Apple stock, again today, getting up to 180 plus, but then at the end, getting rejected by 180, and now trading just under 180. So immediately, Apple stock tomorrow needs to break 180. Only if that happens, we're going to see a quick trip all the way up to 183 to even 185, and then we can talk about 187 also on Apple stock. Now below 177, we do have a gap down here just below 176, so keep an eye on that on Apple stock. Another thing, guys, weekly time frame, 20 SMA white line right here on this weekly chart, 179.23, and Apple closing above white line 20 SMA today. That is looking good, but Apple stock needs to hold this level right here, white line 20 SMA. Apple closing below white line 20 SMA on this weekly time frame, that would put more sell pressure on Apple, and in that case we're going to see Apple closing this gap right here just below 176, and then possibly can go even lower. So you want to see Apple stock above at least I would say 180, and that's gonna be more bullish in the short term. For more upside, possibly up to even 185. On Tesla, stock is down 0.70%, but if you look at my screen, Tesla today not making another new low, not going after this low down here from yesterday, which is at 242, holding above 242, came down to 245, and now trading close to 250 at the closing. So you want to see Tesla actually above right here, 254, and only if that happens, Tesla moving higher back up to 262, and then 267.35 white line 20 SMA. Below 254, watch out for the support down here, 240, lower Bollinger Band on this daily chart, and then the gap below 235.23. On Netflix is down 0.56%, so nothing but more consolidation on Netflix. And if you look at my screen, we're trading in this range, and also you can call it a flag right here. And if you look at my screen, once again, Netflix just trading right here, right on this white line 20 SMA at the closing, and closing at 438.30. just slightly under white line 20 SMA 438.52. So you want to see Netflix above 438.52 and also above right here 443. And soon as that happens, you're going to see a quick trip up to 450, and who knows, we got a massive gap on top all the way up here at 470. Now this thing actually breaks under 428, then watch out for a move down here to this gap 409.54, and that's gonna be a strong support. And just below that, we also have lower Bollinger Band on this daily chart, and that is around 406 on Netflix. On Nvidia, stock is down 1.66% and taking a beating because of Datadog today. AMD also down on the day. Now if you look at my screen, Nvidia could be forming a bear flag right here, and if that plays out, we could see Nvidia down to even 400. Now so far it's holding. Again, if you look at my screen, 440 is a support, and if you caught that dip, I talked about it last night how 440 is a dip on Nvidia as a day trader, and if you caught it right here buying Nvidia at 440, you made money again, because closing almost at 447, that's a $7 move. You caught that whole move on Nvidia and you made good money buying this dip at 440. Now whenever this thing breaks 440, that is when you need to get out, because this thing will drop, but not too much. And why? Because look at this lower Bollinger Band moving up now at 435. So even on a significant drop, you're not going to see Nvidia going below 428.31 red line 50 SMA. That would be extremely oversold at that moment. Now also we have earnings coming, so I think with that earnings, I don't see much upside on Nvidia. Even if they beat, I mean, where this thing can go, guys, I mean, it's already trading close to 500. We got up to almost 500, and now it's time for a move to the downside. It's going to happen. Now why I think that's going to happen? Because everything that the CEO said before on last earnings, and they pumped the stock all the way up to almost 500, he's going to take all that back in. Just like we're seeing on AMD stock, earnings not that great, and today we got Datadog. So imagine what's going to happen. I know the CEO is smart, Nvidia CEO, but how much longer you can do that cover up? You're not making that much money. You don't have all those orders that you said you got, and at some point, you're gonna come out and you're gonna start speaking truth. And if that happens, this thing will come down. Now, yes, Nvidia is a good company, but who wants to buy here at 500, 450, guys? No way. Not even down to 300. I'm not buying this at 300. Maybe 250, 200. Maybe that is a good entry, but this thing is out of my range to buy and hold anything long term. Definitely not a buy for me. And if you're buying here and going long, well, only thing I can say, good luck to you on Nvidia. So day trading is fine. You can make ton of money on Nvidia buying the dip. And look at this. Every time this thing came down to 440, what happened? You saw instant bounce, $5 to $7, some cases even 10, 15 bucks. So if you're buying right here, that is good until the support breaks. Then you're going to see more downside down to 435, 428, and then with earnings, we could see Nvidia coming down and closing this gap 395.30. On AMD, stock is down 3%, and just like I said before, AMD trading in this range between 118 and 108. AMD stock breaks above 118, you're going to see 130 plus on AMD. AMD takes out 108, you're going to see 100 or below 100. That is also possible on AMD. And this could be a giant bear flag if you look at my screen right here. And if that plays out, guys, yes, there could be more downside on AMD. I mean, look at what happened with Datadog today, guys. Got decimated. And Nvidia earnings coming on the 23rd, I think. So that could play out a big role on AMD to break out, or we could see a breakdown below 108. In that case, 100, maybe even under 100, that is possible on AMD. And if you look at today's closing under 113.92, so under 20 SMA on this daily chart. We do have a gap on top, 115.49. So tomorrow you want to see AMD above 113.92, and only if that happens you're going to see AMD closing the gap on top, 115.49, and then we also have resistance at 118. Below 113.92, strong support down here around 108 on AMD.